What up? What up? What up? Whew. It's time for the next episode already. These times really do fly by. I want to start by saying thank you to the people that listened to that pilot episode. I didn't pull it out everywhere. I didn't really do a whole lot with it. I just did the show, posted it a couple places, and let it do what it do because it was a pilot. So I've worked out the kinks and whatnot since then, and I really want to say I appreciate it because it got more people than I thought it would. So I'm not going to hold you long. This week's episode, we're going to talk about GNX, the Kendrick Lamar album. A buddy of mine, Ed, who's on the show, actually, he's our special guest, called and wanted to do a show and review it a few weeks ago. So we got together, got that done, and you're about to hear what we had to say. And we are here. You hear the intro music for one. Edward Williams. This is my homeboy from a long time ago. We go way, way back, and we gonna get this show started right.
Well, we go back like 4 flats and peanut butter and jelly. We go back that far.
Yeah, that was a long time too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
GNX. We're gonna get into the discussion of that. You want to do the show? Talk about the Kendrick Lamar album that came out a couple weeks ago, and we will do that. But first, the whiskey for this episode is going to be Bullet Bourbon, which is what I'm drinking right now. Very, very smooth, and it's got a little bite at the end. That's why I like it so much. So that's what we're drinking for this episode. Just so you know, for those keeping score.
Well, I'm not partaking of the Bullet Bourbon, so that's cool.
Yeah, you're not here.
Yeah.
And you haven't eaten, as you stated a little bit ago.
Yeah, I am a responsible drinker.
I understand that, but I ain't going nowhere.
I get you.
So, first thing we are going to do is what we call here at the Crowded Man podcast, the boozy breakdown. So these are 3 stories that may or may not make you want to drink. So we're going to go over each one, and we're going to get your thoughts. I want you to talk. So here is the first one. Oh,
Drake is suing Universal Music, accusing the label and Spotify of artificially boosting Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us using bots and payola. The filing cites supposed claims from a whistleblower on a podcast who said they were paid $2,500 to set up software bots that would stream the song on repeat, turning it into a crazy hit. They also allege the label cut its royalty rates for the song by 30% in exchange for Spotify recommending it to users. Drake claims this harmed his economic interests and that Universal retaliated by firing staff loyal to him. On Sunday night, just one night before Drake's plans to sue Universal Music, Drake announced that his tour in Australia would start on the very day Kendrick is set to headline the Super Bowl for the first time. This, of course, all happened within days of Kendrick Lamar dropping his surprise album GNX. This past year has seen the ongoing beef between Kendrick and Drake escalate to new levels, in which many believe Kendrick is dominating. So the timing of this tour announcement and lawsuit leaves a lot of people feeling that Drake is panicking.
So how do you feel about either or? Both lawsuits or the fact that you would sue at the end of a rap beef?
I find it to be incredibly non-hip hop. That is the word that I'm looking. That's the best way to put it, because hip hop started out as a competition. It was your crew versus my crew. If I lost, I took the L. I went out and got better. But it seems that that Aubrey, I'm not gonna call him Drake, I'm gonna call him Aubrey. Like my man on TikTok does, but Aubrey he is not of the culture. And that's what Kendrick's whole problem is, whole issue is. And having, the backstory of Drake and Kendrick and The Weeknd and what's the other person I'm thinking of, Corbin?
You talking about Triple X?
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about I'm
currently.
Drake and The Weeknd and all of those guys that were bought up by allegedly had the Drizzy Effect or whatever the case may be. They had
man, that's some of everybody.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys got to see how Drake moved within hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and so he's not moving like a regular hip hop artist is. You take your L, you either get better or you take your L and just concede that this man is better than me and you move on, or you get better and you try again. He has not done either. He's going into suing, and whoever knew that suing was an option at the end of a hip hop beat? Can you see NWA suing Ice Cube? Well, Jerry Heller wanted to, and that's a whole nother story. Jerry Heller wanted to sue Ice Cube for,
but you don't do that. You come out looking weaker in hip hop if you
absolutely
do that.
Absolutely.
And then also, like, if you win the lawsuit, you kind of mess it up for everybody else. My main thing with the lawsuits is, one, I felt like that's how Drake got his streams and whatnot. I mean,
absolutely.
how would you know exactly what to look for if they didn't do it for you? Streaming is weird all by itself. Now, I know for a fact that back in the day, there were record labels or whatever buying albums for artists. I get that. I understand.
Yeah, and there was payola paid to the record companies.
But it's so much easier now to boost somebody's streams. What does a stream mean? Like, the fact that there's an equation to equate a stream to a album. So if we stream you 100,000 times, that's, I don't know, 10,000 albums.
I think they said 10,000 albums. Yeah.
But myself can set up a computer to constantly just stream my stuff over and over and over. I mean, that I wouldn't do that as an artist. However, I prefer organic stuff, but that is being done. That's been done since the streaming stuff started. Physical copies to me, and I'm a digital dude. Yeah, I don't know how you add music up digitally. It just seems like it can be crooked no matter what you do.
Well, that's kind of the thing. And how would you know exactly what they're doing if you weren't doing it? That's my point.
Not even that. Yeah, that's got to be part of the game. So,
yeah.
You got to look at it like, and I know all these other artists know, you know how people are when they get to, when you're in the same industry. We have seen how the sausage is made when you go into, let's just say randomly, you go into a car lot and you see a guy that has bookcases of trophies and salesman of the year stuff.
I know where you're going with this.
I know this is hypothetical. Trophies and salesman of the year stuff. And let's just say you're a new employee there. You might think you can learn from him because he's the best. And
Absolutely.
You would be dead wrong.
Yep. Absolutely.
You would be dead wrong.
We have experienced that.
He is a machine. So there are people behind Drake that do, and he may not even know, which I'm sure he does based on these lawsuits. But there might be an artist, like let's just say you are an artist. You put a record out and it's going crazy on streams. And you like, oh, okay, cool. People really like me. But little do you know, you're being boosted by,
bots.
The record label and bots and stuff like that, because they want you to win to replace this guy. But they don't tell you that until you've already hit 100 million streams. So now they want to make it look like you're a part of it.
Well, I don't, for some reason, to me, I don't think Kendrick's integrity would allow him to do such a thing knowingly.
I'm saying I don't think he knows.
That's what I'm saying.
And as an artist, what I want to know, I feel like very few, I think artists do know. Let me start that. I think Taylor Swift knows. I think Drake knows. I think a Kendrick knows. He may not know the ins and outs of how they do it and whatever, but the record label does the record label stuff. They know that.
So let's go a step further with that. So, in your opinion, seeing the type of character, we have seen the type of character that Drake has, and we've seen the type of character that Kendrick has. Now, we've seen those characters, right?
Yeah.
So, where do you think the line is that, you know, Drake did all of the stuff that Kendrick has said he's done, and we find out later you know who you do know who the mole was, right?
I don't, and nor do I care, honestly. I just
I'm gonna say it was SZA, because
SZA was the mole.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down this rabbit hole, because
well, you know, her and Drake were hanging out earlier this year during all of this, or partly during all of this. Her and Drake were hanging out. So,
okay.
Because they did a song together earlier this year, right?
I didn't know that, but okay.
So
you got to realize I ain't really been messing with hip hop in the last couple of years. Like, I've been messing with stuff pre 2017.
I haven't either, and I just, you know,
and I don't consider SZA hip hop. I mean the Drake part of it.
Well, the thing of it is that to me, Drake is not hip hop, and Drake is not hip hop. He's pop, and I'm gonna say that. I said that because there was a interview with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne told Drake, "Hey, stay over here. Don't go over here with the rappy Negroes, right? Stay over here. You got you a nice little lick. You got you a nice little
rapping about Canada. I remember that interview.
Yeah. So
keep it Canadian.
Yeah. So, but now you decide, hey, I need to get some American street cred, but you're not of the American culture. So that's where the problem comes in with Kendrick, because it's just like in Euphoria. You know, you used all of these people, Lil Baby, you used all of these other folks to get your street cred, and you know, you weren't even about that life. So, you know.
But so anyway, in order to wrap this up on this little part, good, bad lawsuits, Drake's lawsuits are good or bad for
terrible
music, hip hop.
Terrible.
I'm with you on that. 2 thumbs down. Now
University of Texas will not have its mascot Bevo on the sidelines at this game. Officials say it's due to size requirements. Bevo is said to be the largest living mascot in college sports, weighing more than 1,700 pounds.
That's Bevo right there?
I guess so. So, you know, maybe that's a good thing, because I can see the hazard, but he's kind of cute in a way.
I'll tell you, Uga is going to be very happy that Bevo is not going to be there. Does not look like Uga cares very much for the bull. All right.
So what do you think about live mascots being on the field or in the stadium?
Not a wild animal. Or if he is, he needs to be caged. Because
I think that time's gone, man. I really do. I don't think you need to have live mascots on the field of a football game or, you know, anywhere. Why? Yes, we know you're the Texas Longhorns. Yes, we know that your mascot is a steer. It doesn't need to be there.
And did it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things of the game? We played bad. We played bad because Bevo
wasn't there.
Yeah,
I'm sure somebody has the stats or of games that they won and or lost because Bevo being present is. You know, I'm not even for like Oklahoma doing that Sooner Schooner thing.
Yeah.
I don't even like that. Let's just, we know who y'all are, right?
Right.
Just come on out and kick off. I don't want anything before the kickoff.
So you don't want the tradition.
Tradition meaning what? You bring Bevo out, start a new tradition. It don't come out.
Right.
You don't mess with that.
But see, that's the thing.
You don't bring a Razorback out if you're the Razorback.
The Razorbacks
Tigers.
They got one. They have one on the side of. They have a tiger in a cage LSU does, a tiger in the
Well,
cage.
leave the tiger where it is. How about that?
I'm just saying it's a tradition.
And then Auburn is the Tigers, but their mascot is an eagle. So
yeah, well, that's their war
live
cry.
Yeah, their live mascot. They do have a Tony the Tiger looking thing and a guy in a costume jumping around. But
yeah,
I just think mascots are played out, man.
But you're going against the tradition of college football. I mean, I don't care, but I'm just saying that there is, people have this boomer schooner thing. They've been doing that since.
And you know what? Folks would fuss for 2 games. And then after that, it's just football.
Well,
but I really would believe.
No, I mean, just think about this. People in Arkansas were crying about the Razorback, the Razorback
slobbering hog.
Yeah, the slobbering hog in Budwalden Arena. I mean, dude. Come on, man.
So of all the Ole Miss games that I've been to, I have not once heard somebody says, you know what we miss? We miss them rebel flags flying across the stadium and them playing the song of the South.
Well,
we really miss those days. Ain't nobody said that one time.
Well, see, I think they know context on that. I would say they know context on that.
But I just like does I don't know, somebody look this up. But does South Carolina have a rooster out there? I don't know.
But they do a big old. They do the. Big
I know that's my alarm.
Crow.
I love that alarm. And you can do that. I'm all for that. I'm for the sound. I just leave the animals alone. I think you need to fill up the stadium. You introduce the teams, like the teams come out the tunnel to some music or whatever, and then they go out there and do the coin toss like 5 minutes later. That's it. I'm not with no animals, no schooner, no flags, no national anthem, no nothing.
Well,
kick it off. Let's go.
Well, we're not even gonna talk about the national anthem because that's a whole different.
But that's my stance on it. Don't do anything. You come out there to some hype music, either team, whatever, home team only. I think most of the time it's just a home team. They come out to some hype music. And then they do their thing. That's really all I care about. Let's kick it off. Let's get the game started.
Okay. Well, so I think on that particular note, I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I will say that it's college football tradition, and there's a lot of people that want to hold on to quote unquote college football tradition. So
I got you. All right, so here goes our last story. And then this one, I think I already know your answer, but anyway.
It is with deep
regret. Play it anyway.
I want to inform you that a controversial piece of modern art, a banana duct taped to a wall, has just been eaten. Justin Sun, Tron founder and crypto mogul, made headlines again. He bought this $6.2 million banana artwork last week. And now, he ate the banana during a live news conference in Hong Kong. The edible artwork by Italian artist Maurizio Catalan has become a snack for a Chinese-born crypto founder. When asked...
Oh, we'll stop that right there.
We can just bypass that. That's somebody that's got way too much money. Spend $6.2 million for a banana taped to a wall, and it was alleged art. That's somebody with way too much money. Way too much money.
That's what I think. I mean, that's why you don't need billionaires.
Well, that's
100% why you don't need billionaires.
That's why you don't need people that don't appreciate money. Because that's not an appreciation of money. You're gonna pay.
I have another question about this story too. How did that banana last that long?
It looks
very
yellow.
It was a week between him buying it and him eating it. I think that's a different banana.
Or it could have been that the banana was green.
Yeah, it could have been green. You're right.
So but still makes
What
no
if he
sense.
ate that, choked, and died? That would have been whole. Nah, I'm not gonna say that would have been funny.
That-
It would have been funny though. I'm gonna
It
laugh.
would have
I'm in a
been.
safe
I mean,
space.
I would have been like, dude, you deserved every bit of that, because no way. But anyway, as we digress, we're gonna give a huge 2 thumbs down to the Crypto King.
Thumbs down
Brian.
on him.
Yeah.
So, so that has been the Boozy breakdown. Thank you for participating, sir. And now
yes,
we're
sir.
gonna get right into it.
All right.
GNX, what are your first thoughts? The first listen through, what were your thoughts?
Oh my God. Plain and simple.
Really?
Yeah, I listened to it. I listened to it overnight. I listened to every track. That is probably the hardest beginning of any album. Those first like 7 songs, all the way down to let me pull up the list here. But those first songs, it's a tone setter. Then let me pull it up here.
You think Whacked Out Murals is a tone setter, or you think the record itself?
It's the record itself is a tone setter. I mean, let's just say all the way from the first 10 songs. The first 10 songs.
Okay.
That has got to be the hardest beginning of any album that I have ever heard. I mean, and I'm saying my favorite album is Sign of the Times by Prince. So there are no skips in this album. None.
Really? So it is a classic.
It is a classic. I mean, instant. I mean, even
For those
GNX.
who do not know, I have explained to Ed my criteria for a classic is on a 12-track album, there can be 2 skips. 1 to 2 skips. 1 would be the most preferable, but 2 would be the absolute max you could have on a 12-track album for it to be classic. And there is a difference between classic songs and classic albums.
Absolutely.
To me, and I hate to keep bringing them up, but I feel like they're linked forever. Drake does not have a classic album.
No.
He's a playlist rapper.
Absolutely.
There are several. Well, one, he always puts out records with 15 to 20, 25 songs on them.
Right.
So by my criteria, 21 of them got to be good. You got to not skip them. So, you put on a Drake song to listen to that song.
Absolutely.
You put on a Kendrick record and let it play.
Right. And the thing about, I mean, I can, even features, I mean, even if you look at some of the features he's had with people, I dare say that he was out-rapped by most of the people that he had on his feature. And people don't, they fail to realize that, or they fail to listen to that.
I think people know, but they don't. I mean, in today's society, you can't like both. Like, I actually like both for separate things.
Absolutely.
I know what I'm getting with Drake. I know what I'm trying to do. But when I put on a Kendrick record, it's different. J. Cole is my favorite rapper. I love J. Cole. However, I know what I'm getting with a J. Cole record. I know what it is.
But see,
you cannot tell me that Drake is a better rapper than J. Cole. He just puts songs together and he does his best to make hits.
Well,
whereas I think Kendrick puts the shit out for
art.
The people. Yeah, for the art.
Right. And see, here's another thing about you want to separate Drake and Kendrick. Drake is more for the microwave society, whereas Kendrick is more of the original conscious rapper, make you think.
I would say Drake started out that way.
I don't think so.
And then he changed. Not that he was conscious. Don't let me say that he was ever conscious. Drake was a rapidy rapper his first couple of records.
Right.
But then he saw the way the the wave was going, and he is the world's greatest chameleon. He will ride
Absolutely.
a wave, and then when that's over, he'll jump on the next one, and he'll jump on the next one. Whereas, and that's never really happened before in hip hop, because once your wave was over, like, everybody had their sound. And
Right.
once that sound was done, that was it. You
Well-
just faded off into the sunset.
And that was therein. There was another problem that Kendrick had with Drake. I mean, then too, you look at the way he saturates the music market. He'll put out 2 albums and a mixtape every year. 2 albums and a mixtape.
But I believe due to his record label, he has
absolutely,
to.
absolutely, and I mean, whether they're good or bad, he has to do that.
Yeah,
for contract
and I think
obligations.
that honestly, that is a lot in the way that Prince used to want to do it, but he wanted to put out the music. It wasn't his record label saying you had to. His record label, Prince's gripe with Warner Brothers, was he was trying to put out music when he wanted to,
Absolutely,
and they wouldn't let him.
But see, that's what Kendrick is doing. He's putting out an album every 4 to 5 years.
He owns his own. He owns everything.
Right, and so, you know, he puts out an album every 4 to 5 years, and it's it's always a high quality, listen to.
But if you think about it, that's the way it used to be too. You used to have your favorite artist, whoever it was, in the we'll stay in the R&B hip hop space. Every 2 to 3 years, they put out a record. It wasn't. They put out the record. They did all the TV shows and stuff. Then they did a big tour.
Right.
And they took like 6 months to a year off. Then they started working on the next record. Drake puts out music like he's going to, like he got to.
And I believe.
And I believe he does.
I believe he has to. And I believe that's part of his beef with UMG right now. But you, bro, you the one that signed the $420 million.
Which I support that lawsuit. I don't think that, I mean, everything Drake's saying in that lawsuit, the first one, the one about, just the level of the music and all of that, I honestly believe is 100% true. I'm with the bro on that. You just can't do it after you lose a beef. You can't say, you can't cry wolf, and now you want to ride for all musicians and and clean up the music industry and get the bots out and do all that.
But it was to your, and another thing, it was to your benefit, the way that the music industry, you can't ride.
Yeah. When the rabbit got the gun, now you want to be mad.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't do that.
So, but yeah, like I said, GNX is a classic. And
I agree with you. I agree with you.
To me, I dare say the word masterpiece.
I don't know about all that. Masterpiece has no skips.
Well,
I do believe this.
Really,
to me,
really,
I believe this album has no skips.
But it really doesn't have skip. I mean, the first 10 songs of this album are hard.
If you skip one, the only one you would skip would be GNX.
Yeah, GNX, and then
if you
pop
had
right
to skip, but
but
I'm saying the consensus. I'm not saying you and me, because I always look at what we think, but then I look at what your average hip hop fan would think. And on average, they would say 10 of these tracks are hard, maybe 2 aren't. And you get somewhere. I think you probably get 10 and a half. It would probably be around 10 and a half.
10 are loves. One is a like very much. Gloria is a like very much. GNX
I love Gloria.
GNX is more like it's not a man, but it's like
above,
okay, cool.
Man. Yeah, I got 11 likes very much, and 1. It's okay. It's good.
Yeah,
I mean, I may or may not skip it.
Yeah,
I'd say 70% of the time I listen to it.
Right.
30% of the time I would skip it.
Right.
But that's a classic to me. I mean, like, I think if you polled 100,000 people, it would be right along those lines, unless they if they're objective.
Well, and see, that's another problem. And I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here. with
Oh boy.
the way that people listen to music and everything like that is just, I mean, I honestly feel like that the way that people want to be they don't want to think, they don't want to use,
Agree.
and they don't want to use their critical thinking skills for anything. And my wife put me on this, about, kids and people and adults and this generation that does not use their critical thinking. They just numb. And even we look at, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, but even if you look at the election, it's the very same thing. People don't want to think. All they want to do is think of what's going to benefit me right now and not what's going to benefit me 5 years from now. But I say that to say this. There's just a lot of moving parts in all of this because of, you can look at education level, you can look at people just not wanting to use that function of it, but they just want to, waltz through stuff. And it's just kind of troubling when you think about it. I mean, yeah, I like listening to 3-6 and 3-6 and Ball and G and all of them. I like listening to that, but I also have this other part of me that likes listening to Kendrick, likes listening to De La Soul, likes listening to, back in the day, Stetsasonic, all of those. You can be more than one person. You can be a hip hop person. You can be an R&B person. You can listen to hardcore rap.
Well, when you say you're a hip hop person, you have to be, to me, more than one person. Although
Absolutely.
It kind of boils down to, are you a Kendrick guy or are you a Drake guy? Like I said, I am a J. Cole fan to the end. I love J. Cole. Still love J. Cole. However, I mean, I'm not going to say I listen to J. Cole and I listen to Kendrick in about the same vein. Drake, I listen to the same way I listen to Future. When I'm trying to turn up.
Right.
And
absolutely.
I ain't always trying to turn up.
That's the thing.
Rarely am I trying to turn up. So,
Yeah, that's like you listen to, you listen to the Gap Band. I mean, or you listen to Zapp and Roger, you listen to just funk, straight funk. Then you come back and you listen to, you listen to the Daz Band, who has slow ends, but then you go over to Luther Vandross, who is not a turn up artist. So, you can switch between all of these genres, but people just act like you got to be stuck right here. Oh, I don't listen to Kendrick. I listen to 3-6, man, and so man. Dude. But see, to me, that makes me think about your musical acumen, because that's just too, and the way that you think about things, because that's just too pigeonholed. It's just too you pigeonhole yourself.
I do believe those people listen to other things. However, it sounds to me like, when you stand for this one,
right.
Like I do my best not to stand for Kendrick either, because I don't know that dude.
Right.
However, I look at it like I need to take a step back,
Well, see, the thing about, I'm going to say this about that whole thing. You see how you can almost see how Drake moves, and and you can see it. Meanwhile, we don't know how Kendrick moves. All we know is that, there was allegations of this, that, and the other, but you see what, Drake is on stage kissing a 17-year-old girl. You're 35.
Well, that's why I said I don't know Kendrick to be a liar.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
I do know, I've seen Drake do this X, Y, and Z. I ain't never seen Kendrick do that. And I think the reason what Kendrick was saying sticks more than what Drake was saying is everybody has seen Drake do this shit.
Yep.
And nobody has really seen Kendrick out here
in these streets like that.
Yeah, just like if your girl messing up, black her eye. He
Right.
ain't never really put that on wax. So, you
Right.
know, I don't, um, I don't know. I think the whole beef thing, was a little wild, honestly.
Well, I think it's a fight that's still going on. It's a war still going on for the soul of hip hop. And I think the rapidy rap Negroes niggas is coming back. You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't. I mean, you know, yeah, you had your Titty Boys, you had your you know, people like
Gonna
that,
call
Big
this man
Sean.
by his government name.
Yeah, you had your Big Sean's, and Big Sean should be way bigger than he is. And I think that
I
has to
agree.
do with the type of music that the type of rapper that he is. And that's not to say that he's not a great rapper. He is a great rapper. But I think he got caught up in that mix too. That's like one of these, you know, that's like some of these old school bands, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
you know, let's say what's the band that a lot of bands that should have been a lot bigger than they are. I mean, Silk, think about Silk. Silk should have been way bigger than they are. They should have been like I mean, they are worldwide known, but they should have been way bigger than they are. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen, you know. But you had somebody like, you know, like what that was, and they say, you know, you can even say that they said that this guy was an industry plant to bring up this type of music, and that's basically what's happened. Now,
I don't think that's true, but I do believe once he got a taste of it, he went along with the plan.
absolutely.
And I
So,
think that's the way you have to do it. I think there are industry plans. I believe in that. But I look at it as so many of these people, you have to give them a taste to make them industry plans. You know, they got to feel it a little bit. It's like, well, you
right.
know what? Now that you felt it a little bit, this could all go away.
Right,
Or
absolutely. You could sign this $420 billion contract and put out
or we
two.
can keep this going. You look the
Right.
other way,
Yep.
and we just destroy hip hop as it is. You know.
Right.
At that point, do you really care? I mean,
If you have some integrity, you care, and you care about the culture, you care. But you know,
but he ain't from that. So you know
absolutely.
what?
Whole point.
I work hard. You're giving me everything I want.
Whole point.
I'm just gonna roll with it.
Yep. So,
Well, sir, I appreciate it. So in 18 months, you still bumping GNX. So I think I
yes,
know the
sir.
answer to this too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you still playing most of Kendrick's albums. Here, man.
I do. I do.
I do too.
And
I do too.
yeah. So, all right. So we closing her out. So I got some thoughts closing out.
All right. Yeah. Shoot your shot, bro. Do your thing.
Well, man, tomorrow I'll be 60 years old, man. Christmas Day, Christmas baby. Born 10/28.
Happy birthday, sir.
Appreciate it. This year has been, I'm going to go to Proverbs. It's been a time for two. And you can fill in every last one of those things, man. In 60 years, I have come to realize that there is a time to everything. However, you cannot stay in that time too, lest you get out of balance. And that right there is what my life is about right now, trying to stay in balance. And I will say overall in my life, I'm as healthy as I've ever been. I'm as happy as I've ever been. I'm just, and I'm thankful to see 59 and 363 days. Man, I'm thankful for a lot of things. Thankful for my friendship with you, Corbin. Thankful for my wife. Thankful for my kids. Thankful for my grandkids. My parents are still around, man. And, man, I think about it, man. My parents have survived a lot, man. In the last 2 years, in the last 5 years, my mom has had a stroke, and the Little Rock tornado went directly over their house. Directly over. I mean, when it was going up the side of that mountain, it went directly over the house. And I think about all of that, man, and just say, I just say thank you, God, for just allowing me to see what I've seen, allowing me to experience what I've experienced, and allowing me to be who I am, man. So, I just say thank you, God, to everything.
Well, I'm proud of you for that, but I gotta check you. I feel like we could eat now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I feel like you just said grace.
Oh, okay.
For the food.
And preach the sermon.
And now we can eat and preach the sermon.
This is after
Hey,
after
I
church.
appreciate it because you know why? Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why I appreciate that. One, I'm not eating, so it's okay. Ain't nobody, I ain't had to wait till 2 and now it's 4 and, everybody's starving and you got to say grace and it take a while.
Right.
I'm grateful because most men don't take the time to say what you just said.
But you know what, Corbin, man?
And I think we need to as people. And that's why I'm partly doing this show is to show that we as men don't really have just those two emotions of everything's funny or you mad.
Right. And the thing of it is, man, we I mean, in the last, since we've been friends, I think going on 10 years now.
Longer than that, almost, if not 10 or 11, something like that.
Yeah. So, as we have seen the ups and downs and the growth of each other, man. I mean, you was a YN when I met you. I mean, you were just coming out of being a YN.
Man. No.
Yeah,
come
man.
on
You
now.
were a YN.
Don't do that. These folks don't need to know I was not a Y. I have never in my life. Even when I was in the age group, been a YN, dog.
Man. You wasn't a flight. You wasn't a crash out young nigga, but you was a young nigga. So
that hurt. Okay, you had to get me back. Okay, I see.
Yeah, but
I have never.
You not a crash.
Nor will I ever say that I was a YN.
You was a young nigga, man. You did a lot of stuff, but you did it. I mean, and I will say this about you, man. You have grown a lot. You have taken a lot of things that that I have said, that Black Jesus has said, and just applied it to your life. And for that, I am proud of you. But we've grown a lot, man. We've grown a lot.
You gotta grow. You either grow or you die. One of the
absolutely,
two.
Absolutely. So
there is no in between. There's no staying stagnant.
Absolutely.
But brother, man, I appreciate you doing the show. We're gonna wrap this up, and again, I appreciate everybody. Edward Williams, everybody.
Appreciate y'all, man. Hey, come back on the Crafted Man podcast sometime soon, man. And I am out.
We'd love to have you, sir.
All right, let me know.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, later.
That's gonna be a wrap for this episode, guys. Please like the show wherever you find it. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much anywhere you want to find your favorite podcast. We're on Amazon Music, Deezer. We're on a lot. So check us out. Give us a review. 5 stars, please. I'll take any review you have, but 5 stars really helps the show out. And thank you. We'll see you next time.